Welcome to LobbyComply Pod from State and Federal Communications. We are your source for lobbying, compliance, ethics, campaign finance, and election news from across the country. Hello, this is Elizabeth Bartz, President and CEO of State and Federal Communications. Let me transfer you to Joe May, who will introduce this week's podcast.
Hello, I'm Joe May, and I have with me today Sam Wilkinson. Welcome back to LobbyComply Pod, Sam.
Hi, thank you. I'm Sam Wilkinson. I'm a research manager with State and Federal Communications, and it's great to be back.
What will we be talking about today?
So today we'll be talking about the use of generative AI in political advertising.
What is generative AI really? Is it like the phone apps that can schedule my appointments?
Unfortunately, the answer to that question is kind of. Generative AI or synthetic media or deepfakes all really mean the same thing. You're asking a program to produce something for you using the stores of data it has on hand or can collect on the internet. When we talk about AI in political advertising, we are specifically talking about a program that can produce videos, images, or sounds that companies or political parties can use to promote or discourage particular political agendas.
That sounds really convenient.
It does sound very convenient, but it comes with its own slew of challenges and pitfalls that can land people in legal trouble.
Oh, wow. I thought it was just producing commercials or maybe phone calls. How can those break the law?
It's really fascinating. During the last year, many states started to draft and pass legislation regarding AI in political advertising, and the restrictions can be organized in 3 different ways: broad prohibitions, mandatory disclaimers, and mandatory disclaimers within a time limit before an election. Some states even have gone so far as to create new causes of actions for individuals that are represented in artificial media without their consent. There's even talk of a federal regulation being proposed by the FCC chairwoman, Jessica Rosenworcel. This notice of proposed rulemaking would require candidates and third parties who produce political advertisements to include on-air and written disclosures.
The states are all putting out individual regulations. Is that causing problems for advertisers that want to spread their message to multiple states using AI advertising?
You better believe it. Each state has their own regulations that must be upheld, and even different definitions of what AI-generated content is. Like I said at the beginning, since this technology is new, people are calling it all different names. It can be confusing for someone just trying to enter the advertising space. For example, in 2024, the state of Indiana passed House Bill 1133. It defined AI-generated content as fabricated media or digitally altered media. And it includes all media that includes audio or visual recordings of an individual that has been altered without that individual's consent. Furthermore, that media must be conveying materially inaccurate depictions of that person in a way that the average person would not recognize.
You are telling me that AI has gotten so good that regular people like me wouldn't recognize its usage? That seems a little dangerous. What could stop me from putting out political attacks on my opponents, making it seem like they said something they didn't?
It's a very good point. Just like programs used to edit photos and sound clips, AI is advanced enough to fool even the most perceptive person if they aren't ready for it. That's why states are including restrictions on artificially generated content. Like my example before, Indiana has required fabricated media to include disclaimers to help the public clearly identify AI-generated content, so they aren't tricked into believing something that could be false or put out in bad faith. This is something many states align with, despite the difference in definition and restrictions. Indiana requires fabricated media to state elements of this media have been digitally altered or artificially generated. And, depending on the media's form, that disclaimer could take a variety of forms.
So states share this desire to have disclaimers on their AI-generated content, but do they all phrase their restrictions differently? What is a state that is completely different from Indiana, let's say?
Well, for instance, Rhode Island calls AI-generated content synthetic media and defines it as an image, an audio recording, or a video recording of an individual's appearance, speech, or conduct that's been intentionally manipulated with the use of generative adversarial network techniques or other digital technology to create a realistic but false image, audio, or video. even as standards they hold for the definitions feel similar but are different. Synthetic media must appear as though it is real to the average individual, but the events in the media did not actually occur in reality. And it speaks about the fundamental media that was used to create the synthetic media. The bill states that a fundamentally different understanding must be inferred from the synthetic media that the original, unedited footage would not have conveyed.
That is different wording, but I can see how it would convey the same idea.
Yeah, the disclaimer that's required under Rhode Island code is much the same. In whatever form the media is in, it must contain words that state that the image or video has been manipulated or generated by artificial intelligence. So this has been a long story, and we've only covered a couple jurisdictions here. So if you ever have any questions, feel free to call State and Federal Communications for any questions you have.
Sam, thank you so much for being here with us today. This is a fascinating topic, and we're getting something here that we can't get from anywhere else. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to LobbyComply Pod from State and Federal Communications. For more news, visit LobbyComply.com. To learn more about how we can guide you along the road to compliance, visit stateandfed.com.